We are excited this side, needless to say. Yes, we have been waiting for this day for months, and it's finally here. This day, the 30th of September, it will go down in the books of history. It will go down as the day that carried the very first gathering of givers. Yes, gathering of givers, the day we chose to celebrate generosity as an African virtue. Yeah, I want to put it in context for you. If you're out there watching, yeah, your life must have been touched at one point or another by a giver. Yeah, you are a giver and a receiver. All of us are givers. Most of you tend to think that givers are the ones that give in millions or thousands or big things. Even the small things matter. By the end of today, the 30th of September, our mission is to make you believe and accept that there is no small giving. All giving is big. And you know, this comes with the backdrop of those times, you know, total lockdown. I'm sure very many of you felt the power of giving. Me too. You know, my friend Amos, just out of nowhere, sent me a can of milk. A can of milk. Who sends you a can of milk? Yeah, as a household. I called him. Iwe Amos. Wanyoreza can yona neyanje. Amos told me, don't be funny. Don't you have neighbors? Don't you have people who want milk? Yeah. So I'm telling you, today we chose to celebrate givers, to celebrate African generosity, because as Africans, at the core of our nature, we are givers. From North Africa to South Africa to West to the East. I mean, I am not very sure, but I have seen it in the movies, and when it makes it in the movies, then it is there in real life. In Nigeria, you will not go and visit your father, and you don't go away with anything. If you are going away with nothing in your hands, he will call you back. My son, come back. Where do you think you are going with nothing to take to my daughter-in-law? At least take fufu, take something. In fact, if you don't want, I'm giving it to you to give to them. Yeah? You know, they give. You have been given. You have been touched. Many times you have been touched by a giver. Maybe we do not even notice when someone is changing our lives, when someone is making that turning point in your life. Maybe we notice, but today we chose to celebrate them. Yeah, we are celebrating givers in all shapes. But how did we get here? How did we decide to make the 30th of September the day to celebrate givers? Listen, CIVIC is an organization that identifies and supports funding agencies and philanthropists in Africa. So they took the noble cause to support and influence giving, or you can call it philanthropy, in Uganda. So the vision was to create that space where we can meet, network, share stories and strategies to advance giving in Uganda, because it is very important. It is so important. So we have chosen not to let giving go unnoticed. Yeah, so this is the day. We want to make this day a day to remember, and September a month to remember. So ladies and gentlemen, you are officially welcome to the very first gathering of givers. We are so happy about this. Tonight, this very morning, yeah, I want you to know what our theme is. It's not just a celebration. It's a celebration that we intend that it leaves a mark, that it starts a new culture in all Ugandans and all Africans. So our theme today goes as count, recount, account. I'll say that again for you to get properly. Count, recount, and account. Yeah. So that we want to make a habit of for all givers and receivers. Yeah. We want each giver to know that they count. We want you to know that no giving is small giving, because all giving furthers humanity. We want to cultivate a culture of counting what you give, because counting what we give helps us build the right narrative and builds a culture that will not only benefit us, but those who come after us. Yeah? So, this is a special day. This is a special day to also recount our stories of giving and generosity, because when we recount our giving, we embody our identity as givers. Please understand that at the core of our nature as Ugandans and Africans, we are a generous people. And today, we shall also start the conversation on how we can account better for what we give and how to build a community of trust among givers. Yeah. Today, we will be very happy because we know, times have changed. We wished to have this as big as possible, as big a gathering, to be in Nambole, or somewhere even bigger than Nambole. But COVID had another idea, and we accept the idea. But you see, it is a world of possibilities. It's a world of possibilities, and we are here. Technology has allowed us to reach you and celebrate with you. So today is a celebration, and we want to give you the chance to share your gratitude, show your gratitude, share your stories. That said, we are going to request you to bring in all your stories. Share with us your experience on our social media platforms. You can share your experience of a giver who touched your life, a giver who changed the path of your life for the better. Yeah. Share the experience on our CIVIC SPACE Africa pages. You can do it on Twitter. You can do it on Facebook. And you can do it on the NTV Uganda Facebook page. I'm telling you, there are many stories out there unheard of. Some of them are so amazing. Recently, I came across a gentleman. He's called Fred. He works in the Ministry of Local Government. And he shared with me a story. He and his family, his father, his mother, and 7 children went to South Sudan as refugees when there were 2 rebel groups attacking Uganda from the north. The father died in the process, and the mother was caring for 7 children. This family of 7 children and a single mother was picked by their uncle from southern Sudan. Their uncle was a primary school teacher. The uncle cared for all his 6 children and cared and raised and groomed the other 7 children of the brother. Today, he is where he is because the uncle decided to sacrifice. Let's celebrate those who sacrifice. Let's celebrate those who sacrifice, big or small. Like we told you, there's no giving that is small giving. I'm going to share a small poem here by an African poet, Mr. Babatunde Aremu. It's a short one before we introduce to you our very first speaker. This poem is entitled Generosity. Open those tight fists. Do not hold back. Make your palms transparent. Release that dime. Be a blessing. Wipe tears away. That little drop is what someone desires. Be an answer to someone's prayer. Be an instrument of succor. Sow that seed impartially. Don't delay. Seize the moment. Be an angel that poor soul. Be an angel to that poor soul. Remember, whatsoever you sow shall return to you in folds. That one is a beautiful poem I thought I should share with you. Please share your experiences. But at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, as we start our very first gathering of givers, allow me to share this honor, to enjoy the honor of inviting the chairman of East Africa Philanthropy Network, Mr. Francis Kiwanga, to give us the official opening remarks of this gathering.
Good morning. My name is Francis Kiwanga. I am the chairman of East Africa Philanthropy Network. I join all of you in East Africa to commend the good work done by CIVIC SPACE. I know CIVIC SPACE, they are championing philanthropy as well as local giving in Uganda. So all of us in East Africa, in support of what we do, keep on doing a good job. Thank you.
Yes, we want to welcome you. If you have just joined the first gathering of givers, this is a special day. We are celebrating generosity, generosity in the real African sense. Yes, with me here are two very special people, very special in the true sense of the word. Before I show you who they are, listen to this. Maybe I should show you. Maybe I should show you. This is a gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Elizabeth Mbabazi from Kuonyesha Art Fund and Mr. Kwizera, the very incredible, very talented artist, Mr. Kwizera. This man does a lot of magic with the brushes. A lot of it. And maybe you do not know, by the way, he's the man behind the pieces you see on social media sometimes. Some people see those art pieces and they don't see the signature at the bottom. Yeah? So we bring to you Kwizera in real hard copy. Yeah? So why are they here? So months ago, CIVIC set out to compile a book of African proverbs about generosity. Yeah? An embodiment of the wisdom of our forefathers. It was a lot of work. Imagine gathering proverbs from all over Africa to put them in one book, proverbs on generosity, proverbs that embody the wisdom of our forefathers. They saw it. They saw it. So that's why for me, it feels like the first gathering of givers has been long overdue. So why do we have Elizabeth and Kwizera? Elizabeth comes from Kuonyesha Art Fund, and Kwizera is a painter. He's an artist. He's a multifaceted artist. So we want to show you something before we talk to them. The book is here. We are launching it today. It is going to be in every homestead in Uganda. I declare, it is going to be in every home in Uganda. Why? Because it's going to cultivate that culture. It is for the young, the old, the very aged. Let's revive the true African giver that we are. First, check this out on our screens, and we're going to have a conversation with Elizabeth and Kwizera.
Buyala, buyala, mama, eh. Buyala, buyala.
Now, if that short video does not whet your appetite for this book, I don't know what will. I have read the book. I stole the chance, by the way. They don't know, but I stole it. It's being launched today, and I have a number of proverbs that I've already enjoyed, but I enjoyed the illustrations too. So, because of Kuonyesha Art Fund and this gentleman, Kwizera, we managed to bring this book to life. Their help has been immeasurable. You will know when you buy this book. Elizabeth.
Yes.
We are happy to have you.
Thank you very much, Richard. I'm happy to be here.
Kwizera, we are so happy to have you. I personally, I am so happy to have you. I envy you. Yeah, I did art and failed miserably.
Wow.
Yeah? So I appreciate people like you.
Truly, it's an honor.
Yeah, no, I failed to make the decision to go on with it. So, Madam Elizabeth,
yes.
So what is Kuonyesha Art Fund and what are you all about?
So Kuonyesha Art Fund is a program, an initiative of CIVIC Africa that is supported by Robert Bosch Foundation and Stitch Ting Dun. And Kuonyesha is a Swahili word.
Say that again.
It is supported, the program is supported by CIVIC Africa, the Robert Bosch Foundation, and Stichting Dun.
Okay.
And kuonyesha is a Swahili word that literally means to show. So as a program, we aim to show what the art and the artists can do and can be in Uganda.
Wow. How long has kuonyesha been around?
It's in its pilot year. It started in October 2019, so into 2020. This is a pilot year, and I'm happy to announce that we are still open to artists for the next 2 years.
Wow, so the pilot year was a success.
Amazingly successful.
Any highlights from your pilot year?
So the program has been running in Kampala, Gulu, and Karamoja. So we've been having interaction with various artists there, and this is artists in the broad spectrum: painters, musicians, writers, poets, performers, name it. So we've been supporting all those artists, and this year we had 62 art projects running all over.
62.
Yes, 62 in
In
Kampala,
this very unique
Gulu,
year.
and Karamoja. Yes, absolutely amazing. Artists are an amazing breed, and we are more than humbled to have been able to support them, to financially support their engagement with the projects, and also to support their community interactions by empowering them to be more active and relevant, and to document the critical happenings that have been going on this year.
On that note, helping artists to be more active and relevant, I must say I'm one of the beneficiaries. During total lockdown, I think as I was one of the people on that online community. It's an event that Kuonyesha held to help artists share ideas on how to survive when there is no physical, performing spaces. Yes, for that, I want to thank you on behalf of all the other artists. Yes. So how this combination, Kuonyesha and Kwizera?
So Kwizera was among the lucky artists that were selected after the applications after the call that was run last year. And from that, we selected several artists, and he was one of the lucky artists from Kampala that benefited from the grants this year. Wow. And that is how he gets to be part of this project. But as an artist, he's a very enterprising artist. If you look through his social media pages and having looked through his portfolio, he's an amazingly talented artist. So as a program, to be able to support such artists like him and others to be more engaged with their communities, to fund their programs, has been an amazing journey for the Kuonyesha Art Fund.
That's amazing. The good news is you're still with us for 2 years. I am very sure by the end of those 2 years, you'll be here for forever.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to that.
The pilot was this good. I want to talk about you, Mr. Kwizera. I think the best way people can appreciate you is, bring it back to the context of giving. Mr. Kwizera, I think Ugandans got to know you in big numbers around the time we lost a very talented singer in Uganda. Kwizera, you painted a very unique picture of the fallen hero, Radio. Moses Radio. I don't think many Ugandans actually can attach a face to that piece, but you gave Ugandans something to hold on to in that time of mourning. You gave it, no one paid you. So you are a giver in a very big show. So can I pay you on behalf of all Ugandans?
Fantastic.
Can I? I'm giving you a Chizike.
Wow.
Yes. This is, I feel like giving you 1 million shillings for that piece. Yeah. But this is what I have. Yeah. And who gives away 1 million in these times?
To give
from me to you.
To give is to bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will keep this one for you for the meantime.
Please keep it until our shilling gains value.
Thank you. Thank you.
It will be a beautiful thing. You will enjoy spending it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't go away after the show. Eh? Tell us, Kwizera, give us your experience. Tell us about the power of art in highlighting the virtue that generosity is, the big thing that generosity is. I've seen this book, but I know from your heart you can express it better than I.
Art, for the start, comes from deep within. Before you give, it is a hearty thing for you to want to contribute. Money is the last thing on the mind. Like you said at the start, people think giving is in abundance. You have to be a millionaire to give, but
Exactly.
I think you have to be a human being first to give.
Wow.
So as art is derived from a place within that, that is for co-creation. Co-creation comes from fundamentally a basis of giving. Wow. Before an artist puts an art piece out there, he has embodied it, body and soul, in the sense that you can't pay him what is worth. Exactly. Like you said, exactly. 50K is not enough, but it is enough in another sense. So art is so much. Art is all of that. Beneficially through kuonyesha to a tweet of Twitter and a retweet to a book that I have envisioned as a young artist, growing up, growing consciously in my way of practicing art, into Pan-Africanism, to a core that is fundamentally giving from our forefathers. What if that is not generous enough to give and to receive, I don't know what is.
Wow. Well put. Well put, Mr. Kwizera. We are going to launch this book officially when we have people like Kwizera and Elizabeth. The conversation can go on and on and on.
Absolutely.
But in the benefit of time, maybe you should follow our pages. Yeah. Those of you who want to have bigger conversations with Elizabeth from Koonyesha and Kwizera, the magician with the brush, follow us, CIVIC South Africa, and maybe you can comment on our NTV Uganda pages. So, we are going to launch this book officially, and who better to launch this book than Mr. Kwizera to, grace the book with his signatures. And, of course, signature, not signatures. Put one there on our book, and we shall have the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books signed. They're going to be autographed. Lucky are those who are going to own these 5 books.
Who is there? 2020 is a good year after all.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes.
It is a good year. We choose to see the brighter side of 2020, and yes, that's why we are here to celebrate givers in all their sizes. We have something to show you on our screens, but we are going to, Kwizera is going to autograph 5 books. These books are on the shelves. They are going to be, I'm going to tell you how much you're going to get these books for this week, but after this week, the price will go up a little. I don't know now. Kwizera, how much is an autographed book? Huh?
For the sake of value, a few days after the release, that is 3rd, the first 20 buyers are going to get a gift. It is an honorable thing. It is a generous thing from CIVIC Source. And maybe they will access the book through online. The Jumia store will be available for people who want deliveries. And the number is written on the posters and the social media pages.
Yep.
For anyone who is interested in contacting, reaching out to purchase a copy. Aristoc will have the books on the shelf, so we are humbled.
So between today and Saturday,
Yes.
anybody that is interested in getting a copy of these books can call 0772 919 995 and it will be delivered to you. So between today and Saturday, the copy, a book of this book is at 80,000 shillings, and after Saturday it will be 90,000 shillings. The first 20 buyers get the book and a gift.
Before Saturday, it's how much?
80,000 shillings.
80,000 shillings.
Yes.
After Saturday?
After Saturday, 90,000 shillings. And the first 20 buyers get a gift. I'll repeat the number. Between today and Saturday, please call 0772 919 995.
919 995.
And it will be delivered to you.
Perfect. Can I get my autographed one?
Yes, you can, at 80,000 shillings.
When I am here?
Yes. And it will be delivered to you here.
Me at the source? I can't get it cheaper?
At 80,000 shillings, this is your copy. and it is delivered to you right here in studio.
Check
And anybody,
your mobile
if you are
money
near the
account.
Serena today, please come by the Serena Hotel with your 80,000 shillings and you'll happily get this wonderful book by Kwizera.
A total of 67 pages of
Yep.
very strong African proverbs on generosity. Consider this book launched. We are proud that we are launching such a gem on the first gathering of givers.
Yes.
We must move on. We celebrate you, Konyesha.
Thank
We
you.
celebrate you, Kwizera.
Thank
You
you.
are big
Thank you.
givers in this society, and we hope to see you again. Yes, we have something to show you on your screens, and we are going to get back with bigger things. It's glorious moment after glorious moment. It's the first gathering of givers. Yes, we are back. Once again, we shall not tire to welcome you to the first gathering of givers. We are so excited about this day. And if you just joined us, you are very, very welcome. Earlier on, I told you that CIVSOS is about supporting and influencing the culture of giving, the culture of philanthropy. And we want you to know that giving, whether small, there's no small giving. All giving is big because all giving furthers humanity. So we want to cultivate the culture. We want to cultivate the culture in our young ones. Let it grow. Because from the core of we Ugandans and Africans, we are givers. So we want it to grow as much as possible. So how? You know, we live in a society where not all of us understand the importance of research. Yeah. So we headed out to do a research and establish the degree of generosity in our Ugandan communities. Yeah. And we are lucky that we have a leader who led the team of researchers to go out there and get the details and paint a picture of how generous we are as Ugandans. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Madame Jackie Nasimbwa.
Thank you for having me, Richard.
Jackie,
It's good to
thank
be
you for the great work you did. The video that played right before you came in just gives us a sneak peek, yeah, into the report from your research.
Yep.
Please, you can highlight better the importance of research than I can. Please share with us why you had to do this research.
Thank you, Richard. To start already, Ugandan philanthropy is a new phenomenon. The term is not known, but the people know what we call giving for public good. So when you go into the communities and say philanthropy, it is a foreign word. It is a word we have learned from the West. But when you say giving for public good, it is very well understood.
Okay.
So, but there are two terms I need to be very distinct about. Ugandan philanthropy, that is local philanthropy in Uganda, and rather that is local philanthropy of Uganda, and then there is philanthropy in Uganda. So local philanthropy of Uganda, and there is philanthropy in Uganda. So when we talk about Ugandan philanthropy, we are talking about homegrown philanthropy, giving for public good. But when we talk about philanthropy in Uganda, it's all sources of philanthropy from abroad and also in Uganda. So it's the bigger philanthropy. So what are we trying to do at CIVIC South Africa is to support local philanthropy with this research.
Wow.
So I am starting from there.
I like the way you put it.
Yes.
You said there's philanthropy of Uganda.
Uganda.
And philanthropy in Uganda.
Yes.
Philanthropy of Uganda is our normal, you know, you go to the village and they give you something to take with
Yes.
to Kampala.
Yes.
Philanthropy of Uganda is, you know, I need some, I'm stuck somewhere and someone sends me a mobile money.
Brotherhood.
Yes.
Ubuntu, that's
Ubuntu.
the African saying, or Ubuntu in Luganda, for example. It really leverages our Africanicity, our values, our traditions, our religion, and some of the things that motivate giving in Africa as a setting, but Uganda specifically.
That's
yes.
important because it highlights the fact that we Africans, naturally, we look out for each other.
Yes, that's
So
true.
that's philanthropy of Uganda.
Philanthropy of Uganda, of Ugandans.
Of Ugandans.
Yes.
So this research that you did, now I know what inspired you from what you have just said. You went to 5 districts.
Yes.
In deep in the villages.
Yeah,
Which
well,
districts were these?
we were in Kampala. We also went to Masaka. We went to Mbarara. We went to Gulu and Arua. And the choice of these districts was regional representation. We wanted to get a district in each region to see if there are any commonalities by Ugandan givers or any differences region-wise. So we cannot make conclusions because it is not a representative sample, but being a first research on Ugandan philanthropy by Ugandan researchers, it gives us insights on how to support the space.
Okay.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I hope the language is not very complicated.
No. I understand it fully. What I pick is, you know, societies are different. You know, cultures change. Yeah.
Yes. That's true.
Just like 20 kilometers away,
That's
the
true.
culture of giving is totally different
Yes.
from the culture of giving in Machindie.
Yes.
If you go to Mbalala in Mukono there,
Yes.
it is different, but you know, equally, you know, purposeful.
Exactly.
Now, so from the report that you have,
Yes.
yeah, that I think is also on our website if people want to share. You have the information, you have gathered.
Yes.
You have made your conclusions. What next?
Okay. I also want to make something very clear. Recently, Dr. James Magara was talking to a group of researchers about research in Africa and how that should contribute to development, and how we are underutilizing our resources and our capacity as Africans to develop Africa. And bringing it back to Ugandan philanthropy, it has not been researched, but it's a contributor to development. Other countries like South Africa and Kenya are using local philanthropy. They bring local resources together for public good. Local foundations are supporting civil society to carry on their mandate. And they contribute to development that way. Groups, we have SACCOs here, savings and credit cooperatives, and they put together resources to develop themselves. So beyond looking at going to the village and getting a chicken, local philanthropy is important because it can drive national development. So one of our findings is that our giving is really intrinsic, and it is driven by the not tell, what one hand gives, the other shouldn't tell. And then we come off at the international scene as not giving.
Wow.
So that's one of the narratives we need to change. Back to your question.
I think.
What after following the research? One, we need to build support for philanthropists. Where can they find information on philanthropy? And we have already designed what we are calling the Giver's Garage. So the Giver's Garage, it's like a garage with many tools, spanner, what. So in the Giver's Garage, yes, we are framing tools that can support local givers to build their giving. We will support them with information on laws, on taxes, on institutional capacities that they need, on how they can grow the culture of giving, how civil society can be accountable to philanthropists and philanthropy. And so we really will build a Giver's Garage on that. But we'll also build more research, because this was just an insight, and we will build more research.
Yeah, I like the fact that you chose districts that, give you an idea of what that region, what they are as givers, at their core. Now, we want to thank you. You put it so clearly, and I'm little wonder because you did the research.
Yes,
so you understand now what people think, who we are, and I like the fact that you detailed it that way. I understand it. We saw it. We saw it during total lockdown, how people come together.
Yes.
It's been around long enough in Uganda.
Yes.
We get together to send someone to India.
Yes.
We get to for an operation. We get together to maybe build a road in the village. We get together, and that is the culture that we want to harness and celebrate.
Absolutely.
So, Nasimbwa.
Yes. Amoti.
A what?
Amosi.
That's a lie, clearly, and you're a bad liar. Now, we must move on. Nasimbwa has given us a lot of information, and there's much more on the CivSource website. You can access it. We must, these are COVID times. We can't gather all the people that we wished would be here, and we have partners that were supposed to be with us today, but because obviously we can't have them here, we shall have them on video. So please listen to Madam Jenny Hodgson from the Global Fund for Community Foundation. She is part of this in many ways.
Greetings from Johannesburg. I'm Jenny Hodgson, Executive Director of the Global Fund for Community Foundations, and I'm delighted to congratulate you today on this gathering of givers that CivSource is organising in Uganda. COVID-19 has shown us all around the world how important it is for people to come together in moments of crisis, and some of the work that CivSource has done to really highlight the power of giving in Uganda at times of crisis and in times of everydayness, if you like, is incredibly important and powerful. So wishing you all the best for today's event.
So we're still moving on, and we want to welcome you. If you have just joined us, you have missed about an hour of this very special celebration of givers, and it is the first gathering of givers, and we are doing big things. I told you this is going to be exciting moment after exciting moment. Our wish is to cultivate the culture of giving, of philanthropy, from the young to the old. It's not that it's not there, it is there. We want it to grow. And at this point, we are bringing a very interesting talent, Mr. Alan Ntare. Mr. Alan Ntare is a very young, talented poet who is giving us a beautiful poem entitled, It's the Thought That Matters.
Good morning, Kampala. Good morning, Uganda. My name is Alan Ntare, and I will be performing The Thought That Counts. Find me on the streets of Kampala, Uganda. Meet me on the streets of Kigali, Rwanda. I have come to your window to ask for some money because I am hungry and tired. My feet ache from the distance I have walked to find you, and my limbs are tainted brown from the dust of the roads. My soul is down into the depths of despair because I cannot see myself. My future is misty and I cannot find myself. This is where I thought I would be a few years ago in 2015. I had just lost my father and I could not see where I was headed. It was really misty and I thought I would end up on the streets. I thought I would be homeless. I thought I would be without a family. Wasn't I surprised with the community around me as they gave me everything that they had. They gave me their compassion. They blessed me with their love. They cradled me in their hands and they told me that everything was going to be okay. Now, I know everything was not okay after that, but it was better than what I thought it was. You see, as Africans, as people of Uganda, and I am proud to be from Uganda, as people of Uganda, we are very, very caring. We have the spirit of generosity instilled in us from our great-grandfathers, our great-grandmothers, and we accept it because we show it and we love it. I'm here with a community of people, the gathering of givers who have come to count, recount, and account because we are here for the same cause. We are here to give back. We are here to pay it forward. And if you are not inspired by this, I hope you are sitting there in your living room couch. I hope that you get this message. I hope that you are inspired. I hope that this lifts you. I hope that this convicts you to give. So the next time you see someone who needs to be in your shoes, who you need to be in their shoes, the next time you see someone in need, please, don't think twice. Count, recount, account. This is my call to actions because I have been there. I have been in the situation where I thought that nothing else mattered. I was going to fall into my demise, fall so far down the rabbit hole, stare right into the devil's eyes, and that would be it. That would be my end. Boy, was I wrong. So thank you. Thank you, Africans. Thank you, the nation. Thank you, Uganda, for giving. Thank you for giving your heart, your soul. Thank you. My call to action is this, simple and clear. Give. Give everything you have, whether it be money or a smile, because a smile is the most honest, most thoughtful piece of giving that I have ever received in my life, because as they looked at me in the church, as they looked at me on the travel, as we continued our journey in life, I still received the same smiles. I still receive the same warmth from our people, and for that I am glad. So thank you, Ugandans, thank you, Africa, and thank you, givers. You have played a big role in my life. You have played a big role in this country's growth, and you will continue to play a big role. So thank you, givers. Thank you, givers, thank you, this nation. Another thing I want to point out is respect. Respect is one of the most sincere, most distilled forms of giving back that we can ever have. Respect for our elders, for ourselves, for our nation, for our continent, for our country, for our world. Give respect, give love, give smile where you cannot give anything else, but continue to give. Continue to give so freely as you must receive. Give, give, give until your cup runneth over, and then give some more. Thank you.
Wow. Alan, Alan, first come back on set. I want to give you a standing ovation when you're still here. Yeah, this doesn't, you know, you deserve a standing ovation of about 1,000 people.
Thank
you know, for one thing, allowing to share your story. Yeah, not very many people feel comfortable sharing their stories. And I like the way you put it that, you know, you don't have to have a lot to give. A smile is enough. Yeah, giving directions also. So, Alan, thank you so much for that beautiful poem.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, you know, we are lucky that you blessed this event with such a poem. Thank you so much. Now, we are going to read the comments that have just come in, the comments that were coming in since we started the gathering of givers. I hope we can have another poem from Alan later on. But now, oh, now this looks good. Mercy Ariokot. Mercy Ariokot from Bukedea Market. Mercy Ariokot got a surprise visit from at least 10 members of her savings group. All of them are vendors at the market where she works. They gave her nearly 500,000 shillings. 500,000 shillings, which helped return the single mother of 5 back to her feet and back to work. Mercy was very sick and had sold off her phone to help pay for medicine when she found that she had a strange illness in her stomach. Oh, you know, the power of coming together and giving. We hope Martha is well now. Martha, we hope you are fine now. We have Tracy J. Tracy J is a journalist. Tracy J said, during total lockdown, I discovered that many elderly people who could not afford to feed themselves in my village. I dug into my personal resources and purchased food items, which included 200 kilograms of maize flour, posho in brackets, and several kilograms of beans. I did not stop at that. I also shared some money to those who missed out on the food. I believe that if we do this together, we can help many more families using our platform. This reminded me. A lot of us got food not just from the government, but from our good friends. I entered lockdown with a 6-pack. A lot of food came in. Now I have an airbag. We have another one here, Mr. Robert Larubi. He distributed sunscreen. Oh, Robert Larubi rode his motorbike over 400 kilometers through various villages in Gulu district to distribute a special sunscreen needed by people suffering from albinism. Oh, he visited over 50 families of people living with albinism during the lockdown because they could not access the cream. We want to thank you so much, Robert, wherever you are. Thank you for touching those delicate people. And, you know, may you be rewarded tenfolds, in 100 and, you know, thousands of folds. Thank you so much, Robert. And we told you our theme today on the very first gathering of givers is to count, recount, and account. And right now, we want to share with you what we call the account video. We want you to have an idea of what we mean by accounting. We givers have to be able to account for what we give. It will help a lot. Watch this, enjoy it, perceive it.
There was this girl that had come from one of the countries in the region and had been told the sex trade is booming in Uganda, and she came to Uganda, met some unfortunate situations. She was thrown out of a moving car, dragged on the tarmac, and I think she was one of the girls who first responded to it. So we just came in. I think we responded as moms. We just came in with all the passion and brought food, clothing, provided care. She was taken away, but a seed had been planted in our hearts, and we felt these are the girls we want to look out for, these are the girls we want to respond to.
I came to the hospital to see a patient. And because I love music too much, and I love dance, music was being played in one of the wards. And I figured if they let them listen to music that loud especially, they might let them dance. So I went out on a whim. I wrote a letter to the administration asking to dance with the alcohol and drugs unit patients, because I figured they pick up their vices from clubs, they listen to this music, they love to dance, so they will appreciate what I do more.
We discovered that the arts sector, there was a very big gap, and people with different abilities were not catered for. And even those who have numerous closed doors, like they might not have different abilities, but they have challenges which lock them out of society. So we wanted to use art to bring them together so that they can show the world that they can also do what other people do, and using art as an example, because we believe art is a very powerful tool.
If we talk about drug abuse, it's one of the biggest problems that we are facing here in Uganda, mostly with the youth. I was once a victim, whereby we were very many. My friends died. So I was like, you know what, if I don't change myself, then no one will change myself. And if I can use my testimony to change other people, then let me do that, so that at least I save my fellow youth from using drugs and aviation fuel as well.
In this community, the mothers that we have are single. It's hard for most of them. The foundation at least is helping to pay for a few kids. The foundation has about 300 kids, but so far like 20 are going to school. So we identify these mothers and we support them where we can.
The local leaders in the area, elected community leaders and so on, are very proud of this school because it has enforced discipline in the community. Some of the local leaders, elected leaders in this area, went through this school. The church itself frequently visits this school and baptizes children here and takes them through the Christian sacraments and so on.
You know, they're looking for information on mental health, on what they can do for their loved ones, how they can get them to come to the hospital, how to even start the conversation at home to say, I think my sister or my brother has a problem. And when the family has finally gotten around to talk about it, how do they bring that message to the sufferer and help them to, appreciate what they're going through, help the person who's suffering understand that the family is there for them, they love them, and they want to understand how to support them.
When I was starting this, the community wasn't very happy about me, because they were like, this boy, what are you doing? You are bringing, Bayai, we always call it Bayai in Uganda. You are bringing mad people here to start stealing our things, you understand? Because if you bring those people around, people start to do what? To get scared. They're going to beat us. They're going to take out our phones. They're going to do what? You understand? But good enough, their community now is picking up because they have seen that I'm doing a good job. And they're also now happy because we no longer have criminals here.
It's been a mixed emotion when we go out to the communities. Some communities they are willing to show us who the girls are, but they don't want to have anything to do with them because they feel they are naughty, they will spoil, you know that word in Uganda, they will spoil our children. We thought rehabilitation was going to be difficult, but reintegration is hard because the communities where most of the girls come from are as broken as they are. And until you work on their brokenness, sometimes they don't find it easy to receive back the girls. But yet other community members have been very, very, very helpful. I mean, it's the community that has given us accommodation. The people who have funded us really are our Ugandan community. Rahab Uganda is an organization that works with girls and women coming out of commercial sexual exploitation, or what some people refer to as prostitution. We receive them or we reach out to them, and then we rehabilitate them and reintegrate them back into their various communities.
I'm a licensed Zumba instructor. I am the proprietor of Soul Fitness, which is a dance fitness studio, and Soul Foundation, which is an organization through which we do mental health advocacy. I've been dancing, I've been doing Zumba for 4 years, and actually it's 5 years this year. And I have been dancing at Butabika Hospital for 2 years.
At the Aliguma Foundation, we empower communities, more especially in the slums, the underprivileged, to have a better life using sports.
My name's Tereka Kenneth Desire. I'm a dancer, choreographer, artistic director of Yuta Dance Company, and the founder and proprietor of Unseen Dreams, an inclusive dance arts festival, which supports and gives dance skills to people with different abilities, encouraging inclusion. So we use arts and other dance forms to encourage differently abled people to be part of society in the arts mainly.
Youth for Uganda, it's a non-profit organization registered in Uganda with the main purpose of creating a healthy generation free from illnesses and drugs.
So St. Kizito Primary School was started in 1974 by my late mother, Mrs. Bernadette Serunjoji. So she sought to put here a school that is based on the foundations of Christianity. And by that, she thought that the foundations of Christianity might be able to augment what the single parents, for example, are able to teach the children at home.
By the time the Aliguma Foundation, Mrs. Aliguma Rita, the CEO, got me, I had nothing at all and I had lost hope. But what she put in me was that I can get a heart of giving back, and we can all hold someone's hand to put them where they are supposed to be. And she gave me the heart of loving one another and helping out.
So my journey with Rahab has been very good. Has been very good because actually they transformed me into a very hardworking lady, a focused lady. Like, it's so wonderful waking up in the morning when you have a dream, right? Like I have a dream, I'm working for something, like it feels so good. And then as a second thing, like how my life was on a turning point, it's like Rahab provided a job for me after my senior 6.
At Unseen Dreams, we have seen people who came and they thought that they will never be anything else, that their dreams were shattered, and right now they look forward to, like, when is the next Unseen Dreams, when is the next Unseen Dreams. We have a young man who is blind. I met him in Sarama School for the handicraft, and he was a rapper, you know, like he does Luga flow, but he was a little bit timid, and then we gave him an opportunity at Unseen Dreams. Just last term, he called me and he told me, you know what, the other time I was still young. Now I have like 7 hits, and he spent like 7 minutes on phone trying to rhyme for me, and you can see a development in him. Yeah. We have young men who have gone to theater looking for skill now after like that, after seeing like, yeah, we can now looking for groups to join.
For me, coming to Butabika is like I'm dancing for my own, because in my family I have someone who has been to rehab because of alcohol. So when we come here, we learn how these people think, we learn how they feel about, about what they've gone through. So we don't judge them. It has taught me not to judge. So I appreciate them the way they are, and I'm dedicated to support them because I know anyone can be here.
I am, by the way, a product of this school. My mother had me and she carried me along to this school because so I studied here, and here I am now, a PhD student, many years later, and I am back to help and continue with her work because it's quite inspiring when you instruct tens of thousands of human beings and many of them become useful citizens. They become fathers, they become mothers.
And we can talk about 10,000 people, we can talk about 20,000 people. The statistics are important, but that one individual life is important. So for us, our slogan is transforming lives one girl at a time. We have had girls that have come to the program and dropped out and gone back to these spaces, but they are our allies who keep telling them, those moms of Rahab have come, please go with them. They are good women. For us, that is impact. She's an ally. We don't understand what her other choices are, why she chose maybe to go back, why she didn't stay and finish the program. But she's an ally. She's an ally who knows her life has been touched, her life has been transformed. So the way we create impact at Rahab, we want to say that if a girl interfaces us, with us even for 1 day and 1 hour, we should have a deposit that they will remember. And one of our greatest deposits is love.
The implementation of the National Teacher Policy will involve different stakeholders ranging from the national level to the district level and school levels, with each stakeholder playing some specific roles. Now, as we prepare to celebrate the International Teachers' Day on October 5th, 2020, join us this Wednesday, September 30th, 2020 at 3 p.m. in our conclusive live talk show on NTV as we sum up with a discussion on the National Teacher Policy. Panelists include Ms. Caroline Kavuma, lecturer Chambogo University and Unity Secretariat Coordinator, Professor Joseph Onyu, School of Education, Makerere University and Chairperson of Unity Task Force, Dr. Joyce Aikoru Asimwe, Dean, Faculty of Education, Chambogo University. This show is powered by UNESCO under the Norwegian Teacher Initiative in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports.
The internet has changed the way we see the world and has influenced every corner of our lives, including how countries are governed. Some have manipulated the openness of the internet, mainly social media, to intentionally disinform and misinform. Did you know that disinformation and misinformation have helped to manipulate elections and has fueled divisive election and referendum campaigns in many parts of the world? Did you know that disinformation and misinformation has helped to undermine public trust in institutions responding to the COVID-19 pandemic? Unfounded accusations of fake news have also been used to justify censorship and warranted regulation of the internet, plus the targeting of journalists. The European Union and the Embassy of Sweden invite you to join us for a special panel debate online and live on October 1st, 2020 on NTV from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. as we seek to answer some key questions on the impact of disinformation and misinformation on democracy in Uganda. This debate is organized as part of the activities to mark International Day of Democracy in Uganda. His Excellency Pell Lingard, Ambassador of Sweden to Uganda, will deliver a note address. The panelists include Lilian Naroga, President of the Internet Society of Uganda, Ebisu Emiru Angose, President of the Makerere Debating Union, Bernard Tabaire, co-founder and Director of Programs at the African Center for Media Excellence, will moderate the panel discussion. Anna Merrifield, EU Delegation to Uganda, Charles Defin, AI will deliver closing remarks.
On the next episode,
I wanted to speak to you because You have someone working with you in the supplements area.
Will I? Who?
Victoria.
Victoria! Victoria! Victoria, where are you? We have to have a serious discussion.
You want to speak with my dad? Do you need any help?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Xavier. I'm sorry for the intrusion, but I really need to speak to you.
Anna Maria, I've just arrived from work.
I promise I won't take long.
You know I didn't like it one bit.
Welcome back from that break. We are still celebrating generosity in Africa as Africans. We want this day to be remembered as the day that we chose to celebrate givers from all over the continent. Now, earlier on, if you just joined us, I just want to give you a sneak peek into what we have been up to. We were talking about giving. Everyone has been touched by a giver at one point or, many points in their lives. And sometimes maybe we don't notice. So we chose this day to celebrate all givers in Uganda. And one of the ways we thought we could do that is by asking you to share your experiences, to tell us who is that person that touched you along your path in life. Maybe when they did what they did, your life took a turn for the better. Maybe when you did what you did, because today we don't want to hear only from those that received, we want to hear from those that gave. So we are going to be reading out a few other comments that just came in. We have Patrick Asava. Patrick Asava, a third-year student of clinical medicine at the Kampala International University, has been organizing thematic debates, dialogues, and poetry competitions on Timeless Missions WhatsApp group. Timeless Missions WhatsApp group. That sounds good. Timeless Missions. I think that's what we are about. These debates have helped to spread the right information and sensitize fellow students from various universities across the country on the coronavirus and COVID-19. The gist of the debates is to help students understand the importance of the Ministry of Health guidelines. That is his initiative. No one pushed him to do that, but he, thought it right to start debates that are going to, get people to bounce off ideas. And who knows, maybe that is why most of the people in that particular group are still COVID negative. Yeah. This is another interesting one we came across. Please post as much as you can, your experiences, and put them on our Facebook page, CIVIC Africa, and NTV Uganda, and also on YouTube, by the way, NTV Uganda. Let's get them coming in. Bring in those stories. This is an interesting one. Another poem. This is an 8-year-old. Now, this is a story told by someone who found it very amazing because this is an 8-year-old girl, Annabelle Malinga. The poem is titled, Let Us. It goes, let us be united. Let us share. Let us love one another. Let us be brothers and sisters. But let us not forget to protect each other. To protect each other, we must wash our hands. That is Annabelle Malinga, 8-year-old. And she goes on, to protect each other, we must wear masks. To protect each other, we must keep social distance. But to my fellow children, let us not go and play away from home. I will read this last line in Annabelle's voice. Coronavirus is walking. When you stay home, it will not find you. Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you so much. And who knows, you have your poems, share those poems. I mean, who knows, a poem might lift someone's spirit on any given day. So thank you. Thank you to all givers out there. We mentioned the importance of accounting. Today, our theme is count, recount, account. The video we just watched is about recounting the stories about giving. It is very important for us to hear those stories. I know you do not know what your story, inspires someone else to do, maybe bigger things than you have. And now we are going to watch another video, and this one is specific about accounting. We need to grow a culture of accounting for what we give, because that will breed and build trust in all givers in this country. Please, listen to these senior citizens and take from their wisdom. I present to you Rotarian Dr. Tusubira, popularly known as Dr. Tusu, and also Mr. Shem Opolot. It's still the gathering of givers, and welcome. Enjoy this one.
Accounting to me, I think, is the totality of our lives, because at each stage of our lives we are given responsibilities, we are given resources. Now this goes right from the primary school stage. Your parents take you to school. Is their expenditure justified? Have you shown the returns that what they sold is yielding returns? And in my particular case, everything was free because I got scholarships, which meant that some governments, some individuals through their taxes were paying for my education. How has this benefited the community around me? How has this benefited the world and my country? And therefore, to me, accountability is about our totality of existence, because contrary to what many people think, we are who we are because many people have invested in us.
I think it's important because for me, accounting means a way to build trust. It means a way to show gratitude. It means a way to establish a long-term relationship with someone. So in this case, especially in the NGO space or in the giving space, you accounting for the resources that someone shares with you, whether it's money, whether it's their time, whether it's, I don't know, food, whatever it is, you accounting for it tells them that, one, you appreciate what they've done, and two, people feel nice when they do good things and actually see something happening because of said good things, right? So if you're able to show me that, oh, I donated all this money so that children can go to school, I want to see children in uniforms in a classroom.
We work with different groups. We work with the community, we work with our colleagues, the Rotarians, we work with those people who are willing to share resources with us, and work with partners around the world. Now you create paths of accountability at each of those stages. The community, for example, you tell the community that we want to work with you. We don't help communities, by the way. We work with them, we give them a helping hand, but they are supposed to do the work. And therefore, you want to demonstrate to them at the end of your intervention that, yes, the time you gave me, the trust and the confidence have yielded a return which is beneficial to you and the community. And then for the same project, we must go to our friends, the Rotarians, and those who gave us funds, and account for each and every shilling. We must account for Rotary International, the Rotary Foundation. It is 100% feed through to the beneficiaries. And that's why all of us, and that includes me, we put money in a common pot so that we can go out and do good in the world. And therefore accountability is, has that good been done? Does it have sustainable impact? That is accountability. Then accounting to the funders, down to the last dollar, like I always say, because each shilling, each cent is totally important. And therefore that's how we talk about accountability in Rotary.
Yeah, so the way it works is a good currency matches volunteers with volunteer opportunities. The opportunities mostly come from NGOs. The source of the opportunities lists the opportunity on our platform. Right? Then our platform is able to match those opportunities with people who are interested in that specific opportunity based on sort of the sector where that opportunity fits. Then the next step is, what does this volunteer opportunity require of you? Either it requires your money or it requires your time. Your hours spent at that particular location are convertible to what we call good coins. So the good coins are how we quantify your efforts.
I don't know how many of you have heard about the Mwana Mujimo Clinic. The initiative about early childhood development was started by Rotarians, and that eventually moved into the Ministry of Health as a way of training everybody that a proper diet at the early stages of a child produces results. Now, accountability in that case should be a permanent system within government which is focused on early childhood development.
We've been able to match some people with volunteer opportunities with 40/40 and allow them to essentially help 40/40 with their mission to do literacy programs and increase literacy for people in rural communities and things like that. I think accounting is able to advance philanthropy on a large scale in a country like Uganda because it fosters trust between the person that needs the money and the person that is giving them the money. Besides making it as easy as possible for me to give you that money, which is part of the process, right? The next step is after I've given you that money, and we've all given you that money, first of all, we need to know exactly how much you're collecting in real time because it's exactly tied to the kind of project, the scale of the project. If you're telling me you want to build a school and then you've collected $200 million US, there's a kind of school I expect to see, right? And so once you've gotten the money, then once you proceed to execute the project, it's very important that, again, you involve the givers in understanding what exactly is happening. People like to attach their giving to real life impact. So if I donated money to a school, again, I want to see children in uniforms in a classroom studying.
Each of us has got a responsibility to the community because that's how it starts. Because if I feel that I've got a responsibility to the people of Uganda, then as a minister, as a civil servant, as a consultant, I'll do my best to ensure that I take good stewardship of the resources that have been entrusted to me. One, in terms of the accountability in figures, and two, in terms of delivery of the services. And to me, that's step number one. Then at the individual level, it actually improves you as a person because if you learn self-accountability, then you become a better steward of your resources. I think it was Carnegie who said that, yes, Andrew Carnegie in the Gospel of Wales, that even if you're a person of wealth, you must understand that most of that wealth is held in trust for the rest of the world. That you have got a right to use a modest amount for what you and your family needs, and then pass on the rest. And to me, that is probably the greatest accountability because I'm not accounting for the money somebody has given me. I'm accounting for the money I've earned and saying that, look here, this might be my money, but it's not really my money. It's money I owe back to the community in terms of philanthropy. And that is step number one at the personal level. Then the second level is that accountability to who give us the money so that they know that, yes, in Uganda, if you give them $1 million, it is going to deliver the value of $10 million. That is the next level because once people see that, then there's a willingness to give and a willingness to donate.
Wow. I can't put this any better than Dr. Tusubira has. And I think this is one of the most important videos that you have watched on this gathering of givers. Because, yes, it is very important to, cultivate the trust among givers. And how do we do that? By accounting for what we give. I would watch that again to make it sink. And you can access all these videos on our YouTube channel and our website, CIVIC Africa. Now, we are moving into bigger things. I told you this is CIVIC, and I told you what CIVIC is all about. I mean, they hatched this idea, which I personally think is a very, very good idea. One of the best ideas of this year. Who best to deliver the keynote speech on the gathering of givers, the very first gathering of givers, than the CEO, CIVIC Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I take the honor to present to you the CEO, Madame Jackie Asimwe.
Thank you so much, Richard.
You're welcome.
Givers gather. What a joy. My mother's name is Joy, and my father was an Anglican priest for a long time. So whenever he came to introduce the service and welcome the congregants, he always started by spreading out his hands and saying, "What a joy." And I'm sure many of the parishioners thought he meant his wife, which maybe he did. But standing here today, I can understand the depth of that emotion. Because indeed, it is a joy to gather givers, not just in Uganda, but all across Africa. I know that there are friends of ours watching from Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa. Thank you for joining us. What a joy. What a joy that we get to do this amazing thing. The first ever. Uganda is leading. It's not just CIVSOS leading. Uganda is leading. And I hope that next year when we have another gathering, there will be gatherings all across this continent. What a joy. As I thought about what to talk about today, generosity. The word generosity kept springing into my mind. As an African, you know that generosity is who we are. When we hear a whiff that a woman might be pregnant, the joy that surrounds her, the giving, women coming together, sharing secrets, sharing their wisdom handed over through the ages. And when we lose a loved one, it doesn't take a minute on WhatsApp before we are sending mabugo, before we are sending money to help the bereaved family. And in between those two life moments are moments and memories, thousands upon thousands of giving, of generosity. And so it is who we are. It is in our DNA. In fact, I dare say that when the colonialists came to our shores and we opened our hearts and our homes, I think they took advantage of our generous spirit and took our land and our lives. That's the sad part. But we are intrinsically generous. It is in our roots. It is what stabilizes us. It's what keeps us resilient. It is Ubuntu. So who is CIVSOS that is bringing you this gathering of givers? CIVSOS is a young child. Actually, tomorrow we shall be celebrating our 3rd anniversary. CIVSOS was born of a seed of generosity. And when we started, we were sure that we wanted to express the fullness of who we are as Africans. And we chose our colors very deliberately. We chose purple. Purple is about elegance, excellence, royalty, majesty. And that's who we are as Africans. That's what we embody. We chose gold. Gold is about affluence. It's about influence. It's about generosity. We decided that we wanted to be part of shaping and shifting a narrative that paints Africa as a black, dark continent of beggars. Because you and I know that that is not true. And so we set out on a journey, the journey that we coined Omutima Omugabi, a heart that gives, because that is what gives first and foremost. It's the heart. And so we want to show the heart of Africans in the myriad expressions of generosity. And for us, generosity and giving is not just about treasure. It's not just money. It's time, it's talent, it's love, it's smiles, it's comfort, it's bereaving with, it's eating with, it's sharing. It is so much. We wanted to share that totality of who we are as a generous continent, as a generous people. One of the journeys we embarked on was the gathering of proverbs, African proverbs on generosity. And we launched this book today. Right now, as I speak, there are 2 photographers in the field, Mariam and Jim Joel, and they're going around taking pictures across this country to document expressions and symbols of generosity. Because we want to show that this is not a foreign concept. It is who we are, and we live it every day. We don't see it all the time, but it is who we are. And so really, our role as CIVSOS is to gather and document these things so that together, for ourselves and posterity, we will show that we know we come from good stock. The other is that we're doing research, and my colleague Jackie Nasimbe talked a little bit about the research that we've done on giving practices in Uganda. And we hope to do more, and we hope to encourage many researchers across this country to dig in and delve into this concept and question of Ugandan philanthropy. Our theme today for the first ever gathering of givers is count, recount, account. When we think about count, we want to say and express that every giver counts. We live in a world, unfortunately, where high net worth givers, those with lots of money, are the ones that count. They're the ones on Times magazine covers, on Forbes magazine. They're the who's who. But every giver counts, and every giver is welcome to the table. And that's what we want to change in terms of the narrative. Every giver counts. You're valuable and invaluable to your community, to your society. When we say count, we also mean that every giving counts. It's not just about money, like I said. And indeed, we saw this during the time of COVID. CIVSOS had the privilege to collect and collate the stories of generosity that were happening across our country during the time of the strict lockdowns. And those reports are available on our website. And we told stories, beautiful stories, the ones that I remember. A young boy sold his rabbit and got all of $2 and gave it to his district task force. Some youth in a certain village decided that they would collect water for the elderly in their community. Others were riding bicycles for many miles to take ARVs to those that have HIV/AIDS. Others were, as we heard in the segment before, going around to those that have albinism to take the much needed creams that they needed. Others were aiding people to get to the places that they need to get, because we know under strict lockdown, movement was restricted. And people would say, I have a car, I'm able to move. If you need to get to place A, call me. All that is generosity. So every giving counts. And then we must count our giving. We must tell the totality of that giving, because one story is not the whole story. Every story counts. When we talk about recounting, we're really saying that we need to tell our stories. When we don't tell them, our voices disappeared, not just in Africa, but on the global stage. And so please, if you can't tell your story as a giver, and I know you are, tell the story of somebody else. Let's tell each other's stories. Let's aggregate this story into the generous people that we are. Because to recount is also to tell and express our identity as givers. Let's recount these stories. When I think of recounting, I think of our communities where we sit around, gather around fires, and maybe these days our fires are the internet. Let's gather around and tell our stories of a continent, of a country full of givers. And when we come to accounting, our giving must be based on trust, because the more we trust, the more we give, and it's based on trust, the more giving happens and the more our societies and communities advance. So accountability is very key. Accountability starts with a record, with a story. So we must be recording, we must be keeping track, we must be tracking and tracing the impact of our giving, of our collective giving. And that's what we want to encourage as CIVSOS. And as I wind down my thoughts this morning, what is my call to action? You count. You absolutely count. Every giver counts. Let's recount our stories. Let's tell our stories of generosity, of community solidarity, of community support, of coming together to solve community problems, of advancing a more equal society. And let's gather around and not wait until the next gathering of givers. Gather givers in your community where you are, in your homestead, in your village, in your society. Gather givers and talk about how you can harness and deepen the giving that you give. because when we harness it, it goes further, it goes faster, it reaches more people. And I hope by this time next year, 365 days from now, we shall have 3,000, no, scratch that. We shall have 3,650,000 stories, because each of us is going to go into this project and document our giving. Thank you for coming. God bless you.
Wow, 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 wow. Madam Jackie was so passionate in her delivery. I trust that that message went straight to your hearts. Yeah? Count, recount, account, and gather round as givers. I liked the way she put it, gather round as givers in your community, in your homesteads, because when you gather round as givers, your giving goes farther and faster. We continue to celebrate givers today. So we at this juncture, we want to get, reactions to our keynote speech. We want to thank you, Jackie Asimwe, once more. I'm joined here by the renowned, a man I have always wanted to meet, only that now in camera, so we cannot have our very personal conversations. But ladies and gentlemen, I have a number of people. I have Nicholas, I have Okelo Ojok, I have Grace Linda Nabatanzi, and Esther Kalenzi from 4040. We are going to hear reactions. We are going to hear their take on generosity. We are going to hear how they think giving can be grown in Uganda. Joining me first in person is the renowned, human rights lawyer and the team leader, Chapter 4 Uganda. Chapter 4 Uganda is an initiative by an amazing, selfless group of lawyers who decided to give service to those who cannot afford legal services. And in one way or another, at one point, I was a beneficiary. Our people. For reasons best known to us, we cannot go into that conversation. But I just wanted to highlight that. I'm here with the man of honor, Mr. Nicholas Opio.
What an honor, Richard. I'm delighted to join you this morning.
Oh, bigger pleasure here. Yes. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your reactions about what Jackie has just, said.
Look, I could listen to Jackie all day. I think the passion is clear. The thought about documenting and celebrating the African culture of giving. Yes. Because oftentimes we think givers are donors from abroad. But there are many ordinary Ugandans who every single day are giving their time, are giving their resources to supporting different causes in this country. So celebrating them and chronicling the idea and the practice of giving is really a noble cause that I'm glad to be associated with. But I also like the fact that we are decolonizing this whole concept of philanthropy.
That's important.
Making it a Ugandan and African concept.
Decolonizing.
Yeah.
That sounds good. We need actually to take, we are decolonizing the idea of philanthropy. Like Jackie highlighted, most people think philanthropists come in the shape of Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Bill Clinton, but here, Richard Tuwanje, he's as big a philanthropist as Richard Branson. So that is what we want us, Ugandans, to accept and even expand on. Nicholas, while we still have you here, because we have 3 other people who are going to share their idea and perception of, Ugandan giving. You are a man who has a very, very dirty passport. Yeah?
Yes,
you are
I
widely traveled.
Yes, I do.
I've been following you. I followed a certain challenge. And I was documenting the places you have been to. So we are lucky to have you here. You can give us a slight comparison. Yeah, when out there and when you're here, how well are we doing as far as generosity is concerned?
The culture of giving is perhaps more advanced and more developed in many other continents because they celebrate it, because they talk about it, because everybody comes around the table to give, but also because there are laws that encourage giving. In the United States, for example, you get a tax rebate for giving to charity.
Oh.
The government encourages people to give to the less privileged. I think that we could do similarly here, develop incentives by form of laws and policies that give people tax breaks for helping the very poor. Because the idea is not how much you give, but the spirit of, of giving. So it doesn't matter how much it is, as long as we can demonstrate that you're giving to a good cause, for a social good, we must celebrate that person and give them, the mention that they so deserve. But also give them maybe a tax break, maybe a mention on your show as Amos. Let's celebrate those who give.
Yeah,
and encourage them to give.
That's
because in giving, you're actually doing it for yourself, less about the person receiving.
Exactly.
The amount of fulfillment, the sense of duty and the sense of satisfaction is immense.
That's true.
If you doubt me, try, go out there and give today and see what that brings to you. It brings you immense joy. It clears your conscience. It fulfills your obligation.
I don't doubt you, because if I doubted you, then I would have to give you my 50K, then I
you can try it on me.
Document the feeling. Yeah, I felt it earlier on. I like how you put it. We are givers, yeah, in Uganda, as Africans, but on the other end of the world, they give, they talk about it, they celebrate givers, they document it, they account for what they give. And that is the culture that we want to cultivate here in our own society. We have another lady with us on Zoom. Yeah, I'm very sure you people out there who are watching live are very familiar with such meetings these days. And first to join us is Madame Grace Linda Nabatanzi. Grace Linda, you are very welcome. We would love to hear what you think about what we are celebrating today.
Thank you to Anja and all the other panelists and Jackie. And I think for me, I am so grateful that we are, like Jackie started this vision here. I have read about the gathering of givers, and I think for the most part, most of us think that giving should be translated into financial means. Yet giving is really about what you have in your grasp, what you have now. Right now I have time, so I'm giving you my time. In my line of work, I think it's a causal relationship where someone gives me I give them my time, and then they give me their trust. Because if they don't trust me, then we cannot continue that journey of. I think that what Jackie is doing and what the rest of us are coming together to celebrate is very important, because it encourages people to know that they can start with what they have. Not necessarily what they are hoping for, but what they have now. Yes? The resources that we have, we can always harness those. We start from that and move forward. I keep thinking that our ancestors began this thing of giving. My mother, for example, what she taught me was never to go to someone's house without carrying either sugar or bread, or during the COVID-19 lockdown and pandemic, the neighbors I hadn't talked to in a very long time, probably because we keep missing each other for whatever reason, busy schedules and all, they came through for me when it came to food, you see. Not because they had a lot, but because that is what they had and they wanted to share it. And for me, this generosity, gathering of givers, giving, it's a spirit of continuity, of equality and equity, of what our ancestors started. And for us to continue to give or to be given, it is the sustainability of what they started. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Grace Linda. We know where you are, and we shall be coming there immediately after this gathering. We shall gather at Rosaho and, wet our throats. Now, I don't know who else we have there. I am meant to understand we have about 4 people on Zoom. Is Esther there? Esther has... Esther, this is another interesting submission, I presume, because Esther has been running a charity organization for long enough. The charity organization is called 4040. Esther, we are happy to have you, and we cannot wait to hear from you what you think about what we are celebrating today.
Hi, Richard. I'm glad to be here as well. Thank you for having me. First of all, I would like to congratulate CIVSOS on 3 years. That's amazing. I'm so proud of the work that CIVSOS is doing, and I'm glad to be a personal beneficiary, but also to have 40 Days Over 40 Smiles Foundation as a beneficiary. This issue is very close to my heart, as you know, and as you have said, because our entire life, the entire organization 4040 stands on givers. Yeah, we exist because people have given to us. We exist because people have taken time off their schedules to volunteer, taken time off to get some of their disposable income and contribute, given of their resources, woken up and said, you know what, here is space, come and use it, you don't have to pay anything. And because of that, we have been able to impact so many lives. So 4040, this is what? This is year 8. And during that time, we have raised over $200,000 from Ugandans. Yeah, just Ugandans giving. So to celebrate giving is something that I believe we should do more often. So many of us don't document it, as we've already said. So many of us don't want to admit, you know, one hand shouldn't know what the other hand is doing. But even then, we've been able to reach so many people because we are givers. And even in research, it shows that Uganda is one of the most charitable countries in the world. And it gives me great joy because we have such a young population. So that means they are going to carry it on. So the 15-year-old now who has contributed their money to classmate who doesn't have school fees is going to grow up into an adult who will also impact this in their community, with their children, in their workspaces. So I'm incredibly proud of us as Ugandans, of us as Africans for continuing to give. Those who need it, those who have not asked, those whom we think might need it, and also to be a beneficiary of the generosity of so many Ugandans, both at home and abroad, and to be able to celebrate this gathering because I'm a proud beneficiary, proud giver, proud recipient, and will continue to do that. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Esther. We are glad we had you on this gathering of givers because those who know that you have been in the center of this kind of culture, giving. Yes, we continue to appeal to you, celebrate the givers in your society, celebrate them, document, account for what you give, and let this culture grow. Let it grow. And joining us right now is another interesting gentleman, Okello Ojok from Northern Uganda. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Richard. Thank you.
I was starting to get worried.
Thank you very much, CIVSOS, and thank you very much, Jackie, for your nuggets of philanthropic wisdom. Today is a great day for givers. One of the things that I picked from your submission, and that I think is very important, is that giving must be inculcated during childhood. This speaks volumes for me because personally, I was born and grew up in Northern Uganda. At one point, our home was like an internally displaced people's camp. My mother was taking care of 300 people. And right now I look at myself and ask, if my mother with very little resources could take care of 300 people in a small compound, what could I do with the knowledge, with the resources, and with the networks that I have in my possession? And so this keeps on inspiring me and making me to be a giver. It is also important for us to notice that giving is not altruism. In fact, when we give, we benefit much more than the people we are giving to. And so giving is like a boomerang. It will always bounce back to us with more blessings and with more happiness. It's also very important for us to understand that giving must not be comfortable. In fact, it should always be uncomfortable. Because when we think that we should only give when we are comfortable, it means that we are never going to give, because we all know that comfort is almost a luxury. So we must even when we think we are uncomfortable of situations. And this platform, the Gathering of Givers, particularly important to me because it will enable us to tap the resources we have within our networks. And it's important to appreciate the fact that, for instance, the people who are on this platform are connected in one way or the other. I could tell you a story about my brother being arrested just 2 weeks ago, and Nicholas Opio coming to my rescue. This is interesting. And so if we always collaborate within this ecosystem, I think it is important. And lastly, I want to make a very pertinent but perhaps controversial point. Jackie and other presenters noted that religion is always this factor that endears people to give. But I would like to deviate and say that nothing should compel us to give, but just the fact that we are human beings, and it is an intrinsic human value to make sure that we give and help one another. These are the things that make us human. Giving is what makes the world a much better place. And just to conclude, I give in many ways. One of the initiatives I've started is called Okaire City, and our dream is to develop a sustainable community in a rural village in Otuke. And we have been successful mostly because of givers. Our communities, the children at our community school are supported by a network of givers, mostly in Uganda. I think this is a big applause to us as Africans, and that we must, right now at this time, be in position to change narratives, to tell our stories, and be at the forefront of changing narratives about giving. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Okelo. Thank you for the wisdom you have shared and your opinions. You said when you give, it comes back to you. We can see you look good, Okelo. You look good. Your heart is fonder. Your spirit is light. And we want to thank you. We want to celebrate you and your mother, who looked after 300 children. That is amazing. We can all give. You don't have to have. Yeah, you don't have to have a lot to give. You can give what you have. On that note, maybe I take one last comment from Mr. Nicholas Opio, and I will invite our CEO CIVSOS, Jackie Asimwe. Mr. Nicholas, your closing shot on this.
Nobody is too poor to give. Let's all give. It's about the spirit. It's about the heart. It's about your love for one another and love for community. I would encourage everybody out there, please give. Give and give and give, because giving is also spiritual. Jesus said, whatever you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me.
Wow. And from me to you, Mr. Nicholas Opio, I will give you my support for the great work you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Richard.
that I have in abundance.
Thank you.
You're a great man, and we celebrate chapter 4. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite our CEO, Jackie Asimwe, to invite our guest of honor.
Thank you, Richard. It gives me great honor. It is my singular pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, Her Royal Highness Sylvia Najinda, the Nabagereka of Buganda. Her Royal Highness, who is the Queen Consort of Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi II, the King of Buganda, is a transformational leader and an ardent advocate of human development rooted in cultural values. Her Royal Highness is the first queen in the history of the kingdom to establish an office in Bulange, the seat of the Kingdom of Buganda, to complement the ongoing development work of the kingdom and of the government of Uganda. Through the Nabagereka Development Foundation, which she founded in the year 2000, she has been able to do charitable work for children, the youth, and women in education, in healthcare, community development, and initiatives that advance good cultural values and the practice of sustainable development. She's an icon who is highly regarded in society for her leadership, and she's renowned as a champion for mobilizing, sensitizing, and empowering girls and boys, including children with disabilities, the youth, and women, and for advancing Ubuntu Buramu as a strategic approach in all the Foundation's programs and projects that empower individuals to reclaim their cultural heritage and encourages the use of cultural values as a tool for human development. She is a founder member of the African Queens and Women Cultural Leaders Network. She's co-founder and patron of African Royals for Culture and Development. She's a board member of the African Philanthropy Forum, and she is a member of the Board of Advisors of the Global Thinkers Forum. Welcome with me, Her Royal Highness.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to address your first gathering of givers in Uganda, whose theme is Count, Recount, Account. The gathering of givers is an important forum to give voice, value, and visibility to African giving and generosity. As Africans, we intuitively give as a core aspect of our heritage. At times, we're not even conscious that we're giving, but feel the social obligation to help one another. Currently, there's a genuine desire to own and be in control of our development. And while we may still need and wish to continue to receive support from external partners, there's a yearning for assistance that strengthens capacities and nurtures homegrown solutions to Africa's development issues. And this is why strategic giving by Africans to Africa is even more important today than ever before. Formalized and organized structures governed by legal rules offer tangible links between givers and beneficiaries and tend to focus on consistent giving that allows everyone, regardless of their income, to participate in making a lasting impact. Now, these structures like foundations, endowments, and trusts also offer a sense of perpetuity to a philanthropic endeavor. However, while we have and hear about very generous givers, we don't hear enough about homegrown African foundations or trusts. Now, without formal avenues of consistent giving, African societies lose out unknowingly. Yet African philanthropic activity has been slowly building momentum over the years and can be a significant factor in the growth and development of many African nations. The Nabagereka Development Foundation leverages culture as a tool for building development solutions to Africa's problems. As a co-founder and board member of the African Philanthropy Forum, we are committed to enhancing organized giving in order to fund our priorities. On the 30th September 2015, the African Philanthropy Forum, in collaboration with UN Women, hosted individuals in Uganda drawn from culture, religious, and business, as well as legal sectors and the government as well, under the theme Growing Philanthropy at Home, in an effort to encourage the numerous givers that we have in Uganda to structure their giving. Now, I'm honored to be here today to welcome and celebrate this gathering of givers, to build on the generosity of Ugandans in particular. To me, this gathering and celebration of African givers is important for two reasons. First, the more the hands, the easier and faster the task. We need more and more initiatives to enhance organized giving. This gathering of givers not only recognizes generosity as something that is very much part of our culture, but it also celebrates in order to proactively address our own challenges. Second, this celebration is also important because it salutes those who have dared to look outside the traditional forms of Western financing and raise resources to solve our community challenges in furtherance of our work at the Navigator Development Foundation and the Philanthropy Forum, African Philanthropy Forum. We join hands to salute the gathering of givers who have maintained our own culture of African generosity to collectively contribute to homegrown solutions. Consequently, CIVIC Africa's work to shape narratives on African generosity as part of our social code fits naturally with the work of the African Philanthropy Forum and the Navigator Development Foundation. So we must be part of the solution to address the continental challenges. In closing, I wish to thank all of you who have taken time to watch and celebrate with us online. I also wish to thank Jacqueline Asimwe and the entire CIVIC Africa team for convening this gathering of givers. It's indeed encouraging to see that the continent is strengthening an identity of self-sufficiency and dignity. Even though we have diverse cultures, we are brought together by our common humanity, Ubuntu. Thank you all for participating and supporting the first ever gathering of givers in Uganda. And thank you for listening to me. May God bless you.
And who am I to even open my mouth after the Royal Highness the Navigator, one of the biggest philanthropists we have in this country. But this gathering cannot close itself. We have to close it. And what better way to close this first ever gathering of givers than to read a poem from our book, our African Proverbs of Generosity. This is one of our favorite proverbs. If people come together, they can even mend a crack in the sky. If people come together, they can even mend a crack in the sky. Think about it. It's heavy. Gathering of givers. Katwengere okukuza omutima omugabi.